watching WBBZ-TV, your hometown Me TV station, Springville, Buffalo.
Welcome to the Daily Buzz 716. I'm Penny Wolfgang. One of the hottest areas in Buffalo right now is the newly reinvented Larkin district. And the whole neighborhood is reinvented. And the Larkin Development Group took long abandoned warehouses and office spaces and renovated them into the thriving community that we see there today. Howard and Leslie Zemsky have been the driving force behind this amazing transformation. And we are so excited to have Leslie Zemsky with us today to learn all about it. However, first, ladies, what about that wind? This reminds me of that thing where everyone says, everyone's always talking about the weather, but nobody's ever doing anything about it. Nobody ever does anything about it. What are we supposed to do? What happened?
Well, I know for a fact I almost got blown over several times.
Well, didn't your home
Yes,
kinda...
I'm literally in the house and I hear something go crashing. So my attic window actually broke. And on my deck, I just seen glass everywhere. So I'm seriously upset. You know, it's like one of those things where you figure out, who's gonna pay for this?
Well, you can claim that on insurance, right?
Yeah,
it may not be a big enough claim to make it worth it once you get the deductible done. But how scary!
It was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I felt like my car was shaking. I have a little car, so I can only imagine what the trucks were feeling on the expressway and the highway.
How about a school bus?
We're used to it here in Western New York because we've had so much, but that seemed so overwhelming. And I think we want to say that how many people have been affected. We're talking about this,
over
like
29,000 people.
Wow.
And not only in Erie County, but I guess there was the whole state was suffering from it. I mean, downstate and all over there was like that 30,000 approximately people without power.
Oh, and then there's a ton of schools that are closed this morning.
Yes. Oh, maybe they're home watching us. And
I know a few of my friends who live in Rochester didn't have any power as well. So she had me cracking up. She's like, I'm in a car trying to charge my phone.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So,
and some people may not have power until Sunday, they're saying. So there's a...
And being without power is horrible. If anybody has ever been through that, I know. I mean, a lot of people here have had this happen, unfortunately, to us, you know, many times in the past without the power. And you never realize. I never realized. Oh my gosh, you can't watch television. Oh my goodness, you can't.
My thing is, I can't use my phone.
You can't turn on the light. The lights aren't going on.
Go sit in the car, set up the Bluetooth. You'll be good. You'll be good.
We're so spoiled.
I saw something this morning that customers of AT&T last night, people had trying to do emergency calls like 911, and for some reason, the cell phone service, I think it was AT&T, the cell phone service was down as well.
Wow.
So those folks couldn't even get a hold, because nobody has a landline anymore.
Right.
I do.
But is it through your computer or is it dialed tone?
Yeah, it's
through your computer. So if it's through your computer, if it's through the internet, right, you've got no phone, and then folks couldn't use their cell phones for emergencies. Like, that's really scary.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about myself. I always think I'm going to be blown away. I mean,
well, Penny.
My little sister comes.
I was thinking, we were talking before, I love that. We should have gotten this image of the Wizard of Oz.
Running by it's Penny going by the window. Oh my gosh, Penny.
Or like my daughter used to say to me, Mom, get on your broom and come on over here. So, ooh.
That was like in stereo.
If I said that to my mother,
be dead, right? Like the kind of dead that doesn't get up and walk away.
It's over.
But the thing about the wind and the whatever is that it's it wasn't, everything else seemed okay. It was unexpected. Like even some part, the sun was sort of out, and all of a sudden we're thinking, or step outside, say, oh, I couldn't open my car door.
The wind hits you in the face, you almost can't breathe. The wind was so hard that you couldn't even.
And as you pointed out, the damage it's serious. I mean, this can be a serious, subject to people's
Absolutely.
homes.
So check on your loved
All the
ones,
trees.
make sure everybody is okay.
Right.
That nobody was blown away.
Yeah.
Or your hair.
Here, anyway. And then, no, I went home. I got inside.
You just went home. You didn't try and fly.
Oh, look at the clip of the tree coming up. Now, those are just some of the images that were brought in and sent in to us today.
I think that's in North Tonawanda, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so
nuts.
scary. I'm happy it really missed the home. Just imagine. I'm sure there has been some of those issues that have actually happened as well.
Oh yeah, tree coming through your roof.
And on cars, you see very often they can damage cars and
Absolutely.
come down and so on. All right, so we talked about that, and I know when in the news, particularly Kim was telling us this morning, and I thought we should
a good
talk
trending
about
topic.
a serious subject, the WikiLeaks issue.
The newest WikiLeaks dumps, right? And it's kind of scary for the everyday guy. Most of the everyday person. Most of the WikiLeaks dumps have been, had political ramifications, or they're calling out one politician or another. But now we've got this dump that's saying that the government is watching,
Big
so they
Brother.
can, yes, like the book 1984, right? That this is now here, it's now happening, and certain smart TVs, they can listen to what you're doing, they can watch what you're doing, even when the TV is off. Like, that is creepy.
I think we all have those friends
that
that have been saying that, or at least I do. I have those friends that have been saying, Mercedes, tape your laptop.
My
or
mother
Mercedes.
does that.
And I'm thinking, stop it. And then when something like this happens, I have some apologies to.
I said the same thing to my mother.
yeah.
I walk upstairs and on her computer she has like a piece of paper hanging over the camera. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, I don't need nobody watching me.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
like
scary.
all these,
it's very scary.
all the conspiracy theorists about the government is watching you, and now it turns out that the CIA has the capability to watch you. But now, technically, legally, the CIA is only supposed to be watching foreign governments, foreign threats, so they're saying, okay, yes, the technology exists, but it is illegal for the CIA to use that technology on an American. So then I heard this morning, here's the way around it. They were having the Brits use it on Americans.
Wow.
So, all right, the CIA isn't using this technology to watch us. They're going to our friends, sharing this knowledge and technology, and then the Brits have the ability to watch and then report to the CIA. So it's like
everybody's watching at this point.
We're all losing sight, though, in many cases, of the fact that there is a legitimate, useful, and important purpose for a lot of eavesdropping, wiretapping, listening, such as trying to catch terrorists who are planning to blow up New York City or the subway.
Yeah, but where do you draw that line, though?
That's right.
Yeah.
Where does that line drawn?
There is a legitimate purpose, and also there are controls and regulations requiring that if there's going to be, I know this just even from my own local part of this, requiring court orders and requiring probable cause, and to show why you have to listen to this or why you have to. And I think there's a very important information has been garnered for our government to protect us.
I don't doubt that, Judge Penny. I don't doubt that there have been scenarios where this ability to look in on people has probably saved lives. That being said,
it's like, exactly when does the line?
Where's the line?
Is
Do
drawn?
we really trust that kind of power to be in the hands of government?
Right.
And yes, there are checks and balances in place, but there are also situations where they can say there's an imminent danger, and then they can circumvent the checks and balances.
And on the other
This is
hand,
true.
isn't there an argument that what are we worried about? What are you? What are they? People are not going to be listening to your conversation with your mother. the government is not
That's what you think.
interested.
Well,
What
read the book,
are you
1984.
planning?
They want to know
Read
what
the
mother's
book.
breast
Read
is.
the book. Read the book, 1984. That's what people are worried about.
Right.
That's what people are worried about.
And it's crazy how that book in itself and that actual story of Big Brother and that idea
Well, all
has
of
now
this-
paid attention to now what it is
All of
now
this,
today.
This will be a continuing conversation, and we'll probably have other programs about this too.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
look into the legal aspects too, and we'll have somebody come. But right now, we have to take a brief break because when we come back, we are going to have our fascinating, wonderful guest, Leslie Zemsky, here and talk more about Larkinville. So please stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Joining us now is Leslie Zemsky, who we've been talking about so much, who's been a major part of transforming the Larkin District into the really cool place that it is now. Leslie describes her role in the Larkin development as, we love this, Director of Fun. We're going to talk to her about that later.
Love that.
Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. This is great. Congratulations on the new show.
Thank you.
Before we talk about the present, we want to talk a little bit about the amazing history of this neighborhood, which we've just been learning about, which dates all the way back to the 1800s. It all started with the establishment of the Buffalo Hydraulic Association in 1827. We all remember that, right? So,
I wasn't.
we remember that? No. Am I the only one that remembers that? All right, so we want
I thought
to.
she was only 29.
Right, me too.
This is ridiculous. So in I've got this information, we all looked it up. In 1832, the neighborhood was a thriving mill district with a sawmill, gristmill, pail factory, shoe factory, a hat factory, and a brewery, all powered by the hydraulics. That's how the hydraulic thing came about, right?
Yes. So it started by water power. So not the power of Niagara Falls, but Buffalo was not as flat as it is now. So there was a pond that led through open air canals, and then it powered the small mills to run these soap companies and leather making and small early manufacturing.
Okay, and then what happened? Then somehow it got into soap.
Yes. So
That's like a major turning point.
That's a major turning. So there were small soap companies. So then I love the image that you have there. In the 1870s, a real visionary business person, John Larkin, who had worked at a small soap company, founded the Larkin Soap Company. And soaps happened around then because soap was also a byproduct from the slaughter houses not that far away. So really using the local materials. So the Larkin Soap Company was so creative in that they were really like their Amazon of the day. So they were one of the largest companies, but instead of Amazon or places that do mail order that they might have products coming in from all over the world, everything was manufactured and shipped out right on the Larkin campus, which is where we are today. So they made soaps and furniture. I mean, this table right here could easily have been a Larkin Company product, and the trains ran right through our building and went to post offices all over the country to deliver packages. People would buy things in bulk and then resell them to their friends.
Well,
wasn't the Larkin Company, weren't they kind of pioneers in what they were doing? And of course they were just so huge in Buffalo and employing people, but they were the first to kind of get this idea that we're going to reward you for shopping with us.
Yes, so they were, think of Tupperware or things like that. They were first with a savings stamp, so they had Larkin premiums, and the premiums were so popular, you might have bought a dozen soaps, but really what you might have been buying, again, it's perfect that we have the mug here, is this. So Buffalo China, or Buffalo pottery, which came out of the Larkin Company because the were so popular as premiums, they needed to start their own China company, and that actually they closed their door a couple of years ago, but that evolved to become Niagara China over on a couple miles away from Larkin on Seneca Street. So the premiums were really popular.
Wow.
So those, those little stamps, remember?
Yeah.
Now you're too
I don't
young.
remember at all.
Penny,
I was like,
do you
yeah,
remember your
but
mom
no.
collecting stamps? Do you remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah,
With
I
like
do.
Bigelows or something? And
Would they put them in a book
put them
or
in a
something,
book,
and they would-
then you get a toaster oven or
Yes.
I've seen that on the movies.
Oh, you've seen that on the movies? Oh, the old
we watched the
classic
same
Yes, the
things.
classic
Adriana.
ones. You're welcome.
I have a Larkin desk. It's my husband's desk. When you pull the drawer out, you flip it over, and there's a piece of paper, that was glued down, and it's a Larkin desk.
You should have brought that in here. Why didn't you bring that
I
so we could see?
tried.
That
My
would've
husband's
been
like, no,
very
you
hard.
can't put it on the roof of the car.
Right.
But someone saved their stamps and got a desk. It's wild.
The furniture, most of the furniture,
never
those
knew
were
any.
premiums. Yes.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
And then,
Now,
the Larkin building was not designed by Frank Lloyd Wright.
No, but so much history in Buffalo also came out of the Larkin Company because Darwin Martin, who was the secretary of the company, but what that means in today's words, like the COO, Chief Operating Officer, or CFO, he was Frank Lloyd Wright's great patron. So he brought him to Buffalo. Many of you are familiar with the Darwin Martin House, and also you can see the image here, the Larkin Administrative Building. And all of the Frank Lloyd Wright buildings that you see in Buffalo were built by executives of the Larkin Company.
The Larkin Company, we have them to thank for
Yes.
all of this
Yes.
great
Absolutely.
architecture. And the building that are we looking at, Larkinville? The building before, when you were talking about the office building?
That was the administrative building designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, and this is an interior shot. So they were, again, part of that innovation and then partnering with someone like Frank Lloyd Wright, bringing in natural light to the workplace. They were very empowering of women. We have historic photographs from the Buffalo History Museum throughout our building, and you see, the healthcare clinic, the after-school work programming, things like, or after-work programming.
So my question is this, because it appears that we sincerely have so much rich history within this Larkin place within itself. And from, everything you speak about, even when it comes to empowerment of women and just being innovative, really creating this bonus, this premium. But my question is, what happened? What do you think was the downfall, that led to the abandonment, that led to these great things that clearly worked and that was amazing and necessary in this area?
More innovation.
To not, happen anymore or be around.
Well, transportation made the Larkin Company with the trains, and remember that was before there were cars.
Right.
When they first started in the 1870s, so it wasn't like you could just go out to the Eastern Hill Mall or places for shopping. So that was a change, and then people could start. They had cars, so then they could go to stores. So there was more competition in that way.
Innovation was the death of.
Yeah.
But sometimes you think about when innovation becomes a death, it's like, how can innovation becomes the rebirth again?
Well, I think you actually just summed up the rebirth is now happening. It started happening in a new way.
Yeah. I
There
love that
were,
history.
in the olden days, did we point out that there was everything there? That's what you're trying to say. There were stores. It was all like a whole community, right?
Yeah, so it was, and again, transportation made the neighborhood, and then the building of 190 and the era of let's move people out to get them out of the city as fast, that hurt the neighborhood.
We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this story, which is so fascinating, and get us up to the present time. And Leslie's staying with us, so you stay with us too, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We are continuing our discussion with Leslie Zemsky about the redevelopment and resurgence of the Larkin District. And so I think we'd like to ask her.
Yeah, so in 2002, the Larkin Development Group acquired the Larkin Terminal Warehouse building at 726 Exchange Street. Tell us about all of that.
All right. Well, I have to give the big shout out to my husband Howard Samsky and our
Gotta love the
partners
shout out.
Joe Petrella, Bill
Absolutely.
Jones. So I was doing other things at that time. So this is a new chapter. Well, when I came in 2012.
There he is. There he is. Hi, Howard. Hi,
Okay, I don't get to see him much these
We're
days.
talking about. We're talking about you.
Nice to see a photo. Anyway. So in 2002, and again, it's all this history that we just talked about because he was president of the Darwin Martin House Board of Directors during the time that they were doing all their fundraising. So he became very interested in the history of Frank Lloyd Wright in Buffalo. He also, his family business was a company called Russer Foods that is literally 2 blocks from Larkin. And at the time, always have been people in the Larkin neighborhood, but it was pretty abandoned. As Howard says, you looked at the streets, they hadn't, new streetscapes, new curves, things hadn't been attended to since World War I.
Right.
Wow.
So he had, through his travels with Russer Foods, he saw a lot, what was happening in a lot of cities with transforming warehouses. So this was before you saw this, it's so exciting now, this whole frenzy that's going on around Buffalo, and there aren't that many warehouses left that to scoop up and convert to lofts and
No
offices.
more empty space.
So at the time, people thought he was crazy, but he's just a very visionary person and willing to take a risk, and really, as we know, dedicated to Buffalo. So he said, we've got to start building out the space. We can't wait for people to come, and that's what they
He's
did.
farsighted.
Yeah.
So,
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And bringing in, right now, there wasn't Canal Side then. It's so close to downtown Canal Side, but people thought of it, what is this Larkin area? And so he made sure that we had food service. We have a hair salon. We have, with a great partnership with KeyBank, it was First Niagara. We've got a bank branch. And then he commissioned a taxi from London, the Larkin taxi. Sometimes you'll see that downtown. And to make it easy, like, okay, we can give you any tenants there an office ride. And then he started buying up a lot of property. And that's how then this whole next chapter came, and the nickname Larkinville. And really, it's more than just an office building. And he knew that if we're going to really make a neighborhood, we've got to look at everything.
And I read that over 2,000 people are employed in all of the, that's awesome.
It's actually even a lot more than that,
Yeah.
because the exciting thing is there are other developers now. It's wonderful, the Larkin Center of Commerce next door, 500 Seneca. So some other major projects have happened, also bringing down people to work, and the now residential coming. So
But going back to when, like Mercedes just asked you how, when you first got the idea and started, what were the, like, not only was everyone saying, oh God, this guy's kind of nuts, what's he doing down there? But what were the obstacles that you faced? Like, did you have to change your plans when you first said, I think we'll do this, but that didn't work?
Right.
Did the city fight you, or any of the
setbacks
people?
or-
Yeah.
Give us the dirt.
We need the bad, the ugly. We see the beauty.
It's what I have learned is how much this is an organic process. So it was funny. I asked Howard. I think it was last year when we had a big event down at Larkin. I said, "Did you ever imagine this? That And John Larkin had a vision for Larkin Square, which probably would have been just a little public space.
Right.
Certainly not imagining 30 food trucks and thousands of people, but." The city's always been very supportive, but really this has primarily been done almost 100% without public funding. Great partnership with First Niagara, helping on the streetscapes. First Niagara actually built Larkin Square, so we couldn't have done this alone. So that's kind of the backstory, is that, and it's a lot of hard work. It's not like, it just instantly fills. So selling, Howard and his partners, Joe Petrella, puts so much time in those early years of convincing people, take a chance with us.
Yeah.
And I feel like, with a name of, the fun director, and you talked about the food trucks, and I have been an avid person who goes to the food trucks on Tuesday. Thank you so much for my extra pounds. What made you really see that place, or even was that an idea that you guys came up with collectively? And how did you even get the name, the fun director?
Well,
Director of Fun.
That's a lot of questions.
So in 2012, I had been busy. I raised 3 children in Buffalo, and then had been busy at the Albright Knox. I was head of their board, and my husband got this vision one day, came home and said, oh, I got this idea. You'll get involved in the company, and then you'll help, for the next generation. I was like, and then he went off to work. I was like, So, and again, that has organically grown. So the Director of Fun was really just a name that Mark Sommer from the Buffalo News did an article about, what is this Larkin Square? Because when it first opened, people were like, what is this place? Like, it's just so different. And he put that, because I was so excited, and he described me that way. And I ended up keeping it as, I decided this is going to be my title, because I feel like it sends a message of everyone's welcome. We don't
Absolutely,
take,
it
we
really
do take
does.
ourselves seriously on how we execute the events and all the things we do, but we also don't take ourselves so seriously that we want people to be welcome. Thanks to KeyBank and Independent Health, we can have all of our events are free, so everybody's welcome is one of our big messages.
We love it.
So we couldn't wait for you to come because we all wanted to know, how could we get that title?
I need that title.
Why don't they call me that?
I need you to educate me. I need you to educate me, Leslie. What is pickleball?
Yeah.
No, seriously, what is that?
Pickleball, and again, totally organic. So Howard and Tim Thielman, really, who's a wonderful urban planner in Buffalo, they traveled around England looking at public spaces, and so they, with our team, designed the elements of Larkin Square, and not exactly sure what would be done. So one of the first things that happened when he asked me to come in is I met a retired gym teacher from my children's school, and he had just come back from Florida and said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this game called pickleball. I want to find somewhere to put a court. And I said, well, this sounds great. Why don't you come down? And our partner Joe came out. We hit the ball against a wall. He explained it, said, this sounds great. And then the next thing you know, we put in 2 pickleball courts. So it's about half size of a tennis court. But what we do is we leave the paddles out, the balls. People come out in the daytime. They could come on the weekend. And my son works with us. He runs the Hydraulic Hearth restaurant and brewery now. But he's always cooking up creative ideas, and we partner on things. So we have Larkin Links, which is an artist-designed mini golf course right next to the pickleball courts. And again, we leave the golf balls, and we sourced we went out here to Clarence, bought a whole bunch of vintage putters, and we just leave them out for people to play. So that's part of our philosophy.
We're all fascinated by pickleball. I was in Florida like 2 years ago, and my cousin had just moved there and said, oh, I can't meet you today. I'm busy. I'm going to play pickleball. And we thought he was making it. We thought he was making it up. Okay. We have a lot to talk about the activities and what's happening now and what it looks like now and what we can look forward to. So we're going to come back in a moment and talk more with Leslie, with the Director of Fun. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We are going to continue our discussion and conversation with Leslie Zemsky about the bustling Larkin district. And after a 15-year makeover process, there is so much to see and do in Larkin Square. You couldn't do it if you tried every single day. You couldn't take advantage of everything that's going on, right? If you did it all day.
That's why it's a multi-year, and as we look to the future, it's another generation.
So we all want to ask you, tell us what your favorite activities are, I guess, that are taking place there.
Well, I love all the live music, and what I learned, I didn't know anything about the music world, and that was when I first started in 2012, I went on a listening tour, so to speak. I probably reached out to about 50 people, starting with a list of 10 that my husband had said, oh, you should meet these people, and met them, or 3 people, I think, and then, oh, you should meet these people and these people, and really lined up some people like Seamus Galvin, who's worked with us on our music, who our filling station lunch restaurant, who can help us run that, but learning what an incredible music industry and culture we have here in Buffalo. So we really focus on live music, and that's and local. And we started with Wednesday concerts the first year, which we've continued. It's now called KeyBank Live at Larkin, and we make all our events. For me, I like them because they don't go too late, and then we also try to gear it to people who are working down there, or and it's a weeknight, so our events tend to be from around 5 to 8.
So you're helping with rush hour traffic instead of everybody hitting the 190. They're hitting Larkinville, right?
Well, that's what's kind of become known on Tuesdays. The Wednesdays are a little quieter. We still have, there's over 1,000 people there, but because we have the space, you don't.
Only 1,000 on Wednesdays, Leslie.
It's fun because it can get into the many thousands on Tuesdays with the food trucks. But as people come and go, and again, what is appealing to people who work down there is our abundance of parking that we have for tenants, and so we're able to flip that in the evening and offer free parking. Because it sounds so ridiculous,
No,
but
it's a
free
big
parking.
deal.
Oh, that's a huge
major-
deal.
yeah,
Hey, when the mayor
'Cause
was
we always
here, we
get
got
tickets. I know
upset
I
with
do.
him about the parking ticket. So listen,
I'm always
Leslie.
getting tickets,
Yeah.
so that works.
Yeah.
So that we really, because we have the sponsor support, which is great, that allowed us to make the decision to not charge for parking. And again, it's part of that. Everyone is welcome.
I love it. And you guys have partnered up with Independent Health
Right.
for the fitness in the
Yes.
parks, and I love that because I can do the fitness in the park, and then I can go to the food trucks on
Yes.
Tuesdays.
Yes.
So I'll be there on Tuesdays.
Oh, I like the
I'm
way
gonna
she
come on
I hope it's healthy eating.
I like the way
Yes.
she
for us.
says.
Yes, but that's been a great
It's healthy
partnership.
if it makes you feel good.
With Independent Health has brought two
I'm
programs to
gonna eat
us because it isn't just because you eat with a food truck doesn't mean that it's not healthy. So they have
Right.
their Healthy Options program.
Yep.
We require every single truck to have a certified menu option through their nutritionist, and then you'll see a red sticker that they created for Food Truck Tuesdays. They'll have it by the menu item. And it really means that, and none of the trucks have a problem with, and it might be a scaled down size portion, or might be, removing some of the bread or some different things. So,
But they still do dessert, right?
oh, there's plenty. So this year, we invite
not
trucks
coming if there's no
from
dessert.
Rochester and Buffalo. It's been part of the success of the event is that you'll experience trucks that you aren't as familiar with.
Yeah.
It's so popular now at Flying Bison, which is the brewery right down the street. They have a parking lot right in front of their brewery. So they probably have 8 trucks. So it's really become a neighborhood-wide
Wow.
celebration.
Yeah.
We can park 28 trucks, but we have a roster of 55 trucks that want to be
That
in
is
the
amazing.
rotation.
Yeah.
And I would say 20% at least are dessert trucks.
I don't put my lipstick
Good,
on unless
good.
it's chocolate.
Why would you? Why would you ever?
I'm the dessert person.
I'm just a food person. So.
It's fun. So, and then we also have here, I have the book, we have a program that we do all year long. We partner with Talking Leaf Books, and that's our Larkin Square Author Series. So Lauren Belfer will be here in May. She has come every single year and brought a different guest. And this is a book here that Jody Beal put together, and it's Lauren Belfer's in here, Margaret Sullivan. We have an event on April 26th. We're going to have Robbie Takek from the Goo Goo Dolls, Mary Ramsey, who's played every year with 10,000 Maidens. She's always at Larkin on our Wednesday nights, and Jeff Myers from the Buffalo News talking about music, and really musicians as writers, and they'll be in here. So we try to do creative, interesting book talks. Again, they're free, and that's always
I love
a
it.
nice
And
feature.
plus, I was just telling Kim, I've realized most of my meetings that I have downtown are at the filling station.
Oh,
in the Larkin area.
fantastic,
Yeah, and I
yeah.
love, whenever I walk in, the ambiance is beautiful, the food is always great, and the actual, the service is amazing. And so, like, what do you guys focus in on when it comes to customer service, just within that area, within
Yeah.
itself, to really make people continuously come back?
Okay, you just made my whole week by saying that. We're really proud of the filling station. Our head chef, Kevin Perrin, I learned these terms, scratch-made kitchen. So the soups are made from scratch, the salads, everything's
Yes.
really fresh.
Love the salad.
And again, it's part of so I'm so glad you feel that way. The customer service that you experience, whether you're coming to an event or if you're working in the building, it's just part of our family philosophy and our corporate philosophy. And we're down there. That's what makes a difference, I think, too, that the company owners we're here. So
You're so
yes.
much like the Larkin. It's like you've carried over this.
No, seriously.
We've taken a lot of inspiration from
heritage.
how they
how
ran
they
their
handled
business.
it. Yeah.
Well, I think the inclusive nature of is
Yes.
what you had in mind, and it's succeeding.
Yes.
Like, everyone's welcome. So many things are free, and also going across generations. Like you said,
Yeah.
you find there's something for you.
Tuesdays,
There's
food
something
truck.
for people that play pickleball.
Yeah.
And then there's fitness.
It really is all ages, which is great. And then we do a lot of collaborations, and that's where it's been great having my son Harry Zemsky work with us. And actually, my daughter just moved back to Buffalo a couple months ago, and she's
yes,
working with us now.
welcome
home.
So the collaborations with the food trucks, and then he has done that over at the Hydraulic Hearth. A lot of people like his Bagels and Brews Saturday morning brunch. So he invites the Bread Hive Bakery gals to come in, and they're almost like a food truck. They do the bagels and things. They're spinning around in the pizza oven. That's how they toast them. And then the Hydraulic Hearth will do the music. So and the artists, we pay them when they come to who design our mini golf course. We pay the musicians. So it's very much a collaboration that we love reaching out to the small
This
businesses.
is working because you're not doing anything half-hearted.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
are
Thanks.
not trying to cut corners. You're not. This is a project that isn't about, you know, we're trying to make a whole ton of money. We're trying to make this quality, amazing
Yeah.
community. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they've got a pergola, right? But not just a pergola. The world's largest pergola.
So I think everything that you do is with such enthusiasm, and it shows, and it comes
Yeah.
through, and it works.
Yeah.
So we are not done talking about this, because when we come back, we are going to find out some of the future exciting plans, and you, if you stay with us, will be the first to know. So we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Buzz 716. We are continuing our conversation and discussion with the dynamic, fascinating Leslie Zemsky of Larkin Development Group. And well, I know the ladies want to ask you about yourself.
Yes.
Of course, you have quite the artistic side.
You're an accomplished artist.
Yes.
Thank you. It sort of goes with my director of fun. I like to paint in a very whimsical style. And when we started out with what would be Larkin Square be, we didn't plan, oh, let's have all these little hand paintings. It just naturally evolved. So it's kind of where we all wear lots of hats. So ladies, everyone loves a tote bag, I hope. I did bring you our
So
tote
cool.
bag, and I'm this is last year's, and I'm just about finished with the new one, and we'll send it off to be manufactured. But we've had a lot of fun with this. So this is our neighborhood. I paint all of the food trucks. If you go on the website and you want to see, oh, what food trucks are there? If you go on the food truck page, you'll see all these hand-painted images. So I have been very busy with painting the new food truck images. And
I am so wanting to get into the Leslie fan club right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, your husband is so lucky that he has you down there running these things. I mean, you're
she's a team player.
brilliant, man.
Thank you. All right,
And you
now
didn't
I'm
even
blushing.
pay us to say that.
No.
Howard, you better be listening. You better be watching.
Well, Howard must be a smart man because he came home and said, honey, I'm going to put you in charge of this. So.
Oh, yes.
Glenn, I know you're anxious, and we are too, to know about the future. We all want to know about the future. Or tell us about the plans.
Thanks. So it's really full steam ahead. Food trucks start April 11th, so I don't want anyone to be nervous, like, oh, are they still doing that? Yes, we are. So we're full steam ahead with the events this summer. But the future is really about continuing to build along Seneca Street. And it goes back to our earlier conversation. That was kind of the central business district. So back in the heyday, the early 1900s, and really starting with the hydraulics, there were no parking lots. It was one building right after another, right next to each other. And there were 40 bars and restaurants. A lot of life revolved around the church. There were 2 large churches that sadly have been torn down. There were there was the hair salon, the beauty parlor. I'm very pleased to say that one of the future projects, we have purchased the old bowling alley, and that's at Seneca and Griffith Street. So we have a lot of creative plans on how we would like to bring that back. The equipment isn't there, but the floors still are. It was 9 lanes, and it has been abandoned probably for 20 years, but I still run into lots of people in the neighborhood who either they were pin setters there or they bowled. So that'll be a future project. Our son has the Hydraulic Hearth restaurant and brewery, and there's shuffleboard courts, so that's something that just opened a couple years ago. Down the street, one of our buildings that we renovated at 860 Seneca, another 1890s building, Buffalo Distilling Company just opened their doors, so they are distilling there, and they also have just a gorgeous tasting room. So we have now, there's Community Beer Works is brewed at the Hydraulic Hearth. So we have Community Beer Works, Flying Bison Brewery, the Buffalo Distilling Company, then just a couple blocks away, there's Tommy Rotter Distillery, and there's a very small brewery, I think it's called Buffalo Brewery, just a little tiny nano brewery. So that it's a new form of manufacturing that's coming back to the neighborhood. And what I'm most excited about these days is the Swan Street Diner. So that is a 1937 era diner that made by the Sterling Manufacturing Company. Howard purchased that in Newark, New York, near Rochester, and brought it into, and you see a rendering here, brought it into our world a few years ago. So it has had a loving restoration. It's really like a piece of art. It's so gorgeous. And Amanda Amico, who runs Amy's Food Truck, she is going to be the general manager and running the diner. So she will still continue to operate Amy's Food Truck, but she's come up with a fabulous diner-inspired menu, breakfast and lunch, 7 days a week. People will see it physically. The site work will begin in about 2 weeks, and then the diner will come over. That's going to be a great visual. It's going to come over on a truck. It's in a warehouse nearby being renovated. So it'll be trucked over in May, and then the renovation continues. You have to build an addition and do the restrooms, and we hope it opens in time in September, time for my daughter's wedding, to be able to have a rehearsal dinner in it.
Congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you.
Well, I have to ask because young people are watching. And what you guys have done seems larger than life.
It is.
It seems larger than life. So what would you say to the young woman or the young man that may be watching that says, I would love to do something like that, but it's not, I couldn't do that. It's too much, it's too big. Can you break it down and make it possible for them?
Yes, I love that question, and I do speak to a lot of student groups and college groups, and I put it right out there. I am in a fortunate situation that our family has been able to invest, proceeds from previous businesses into this. So I realize everybody can't do this, but what you can do, and that's what's been so great of working with the food trucks, is you could start a small business idea, and maybe we also have welcome vendors. We have we have a Mother's Day market coming in the Larkin Exchange building soon. So you can, if that's your thing, being an entrepreneur, and I think Buffalo is becoming really friendly to entrepreneurs, and obviously we have the 43 North and those bigger things, but there's the small things too. We've got the restaurant boomlet, so maybe it's going to get a job in a restaurant to see, oh, do I like the culinary world, or and then there's opportunities, whether you're manufacturing, you're making something, so then you're selling it on Etsy maybe, but maybe you're gonna someday have a shop here at the Eastern Hill Mall, or you're gonna do some of the vendor markets. So we've had them, but it's nice. Canal Side has a market. That's definitely started to take off, and those are usually affordable entry points, just to have a table at something.
Now, you mentioned briefly about going into doing something with Facebook Live. Share with us your social media, how we can follow you guys, stay updated on what's going on, and what are you guys doing on Facebook Live?
Thank you. So Facebook Live someone gave us a tip this time last year and said, you really need to embrace Facebook Live. Well, it's like we have a little TV studio. So we're having a lot of fun with it. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, on Tuesdays, I love to chat with our chef at the filling station. What are you cooking up this week? And then as we get into the season, we will be out with the food trucks interviewing them, and I think people really enjoy that. So we're at Larkinville on Facebook, and our Instagram is Larkin Square, and our Twitter is Larkin Square. Social media, we don't have an advertising budget, so social media has been an amazing way to help us get the word out.
You haven't needed an advertising budget. I mean, the word of mouth and just what you're doing is so incredible. And
Thank you.
Your energy and your positive spirit.
Right.
You guys are
And your
incredible.
funness.
Director of fun.
Right.
Anyway, we're so obsessed with fun, with your title.
my
We're
goodness.
never going to forget it. We have one last chance to sum up and talk again to Leslie and the ladies. So we'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Once again, we want to express our deepest thanks and appreciation to Leslie Zemsky for being with us today. And we hope you enjoyed our little visit to Larkin Square, and go there yourself. Be sure to check it out for yourself, because you're going to find all the exciting new adventures and businesses and people there. And we know after hearing our conversation, we're all going to go there. If you'd like to be a member of the studio audience for the Daily Buzz 716 Live from 10 to 11 a.m. daily, please visit our website at WBBZ-TV, got that, to register. Also, we of course want to thank you for watching the Daily Buzz 716, and we want to thank you for watching all of our programs and for being with us every day. We also want to update you on our storm that we were talking about, our wind storm at the beginning. There are 150,000 people still without power, and we are thinking of you and hoping that you get it back soon and join us again tomorrow. Thanks so much for being with us. And thank you so much, ladies. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Leslie.
We can talk and talk and talk.